Glang, 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 glang. Do I really need to introduce The Spy Who Loved Me, the 1977 Bond film starring Roger Moore, the peak of his era, arguably the peak of the Bond films? Stolen submarines, undersea bases, Barbara Bach, and just Rog being Rog. And the jet bike scene, Navy uniforms, all that stuff. And of course, the Lotus. But we will come to that. The film, of course, starts with that famous sequence. James Bond's gonna die. He's gonna die. And then he goes off the side of the cliff and there's that spectacular parachute fall with the Union Jack on the parachute. You know the deal. So it's a 1977 movie which came to the home computers in 1990. Yes, I remember when this came out thinking, isn't that a bit old hat for now? Because here's a film from before I was born coming out on your home computer. And it is, of course, by Domark, who had all the Bond licenses at this time. And up to this point, that varied from absolutely terrible to just not very good. The game was developed by the Kremlin for Domark. So I'm going to start off on the Atari ST, and you get this VHS-style introduction, adjusting tracking. Probably seemed cool back in the day. Dates it now somewhat, but a bit of fun. That's not Roger Moore, that looks more like George Lazenby. Domark present in conjunction with the Kremlin. Roger Moore as Ian Fleming's James Bond with, well, this music that is kind of like it is the Bond theme, it's just remixed. James and Anya arrive at Sardinia, ready to meet at the harbour to pick up a special car, not called a Lotus. Now, you're already thinking what I'm thinking. This is the sequence 1 hour into the movie where they drive from the harbour to the hotel that lasts about no more than a minute and nothing happens. And this is the starting point for the game. No, you're not parachuting off the cliff, not all that stuff at the pyramids, not the rooftop fight with the bloke with the bald bloke, none of that stuff. No, we start off an hour into the movie. And here we are on the Amiga with an even worse remix version of the Bond theme. This is terrible. Who thought remixing the Bond theme with samples shouting "check this out" was an idea? Some tone-deaf idiot. I can feel my rage rising. So here we are again, and yeah, I mean, it's a why is there's so much in the movie before this inconsequential scene of just driving along roads in Sardinia? Why isn't it at the pyramids with the Jaws and all that stuff, or that bit where he kidnaps Bond and Anya and then they go to this place and oh, it's just nuts. Commodore 64 version. Oh yeah, the music's terrible here as well. What you have to do in this first level is you have to collect Q tokens, which allow you to buy power-ups. If you drive over oil, no matter what speed you're going, the car spins around anyway, so even if you slow right down, there's no timer, so you can drive as slow as you like, which you'll need to. Imagine Spy Hunter, but really boring. If you run over pedestrians, well, you lose 50 points, but that's it. It's ludicrously boring, and then sometimes a car will come along and try and shove you off the road. The remix Bond theme runs in the background and repeats over and over and over and over again until you just want to stuff something in the speakers of your TV. Over to the Specky, where it's a multi-load. And off we go. And the scrolling is, I'm going very slowly at the moment, but see how jerky it is? It kind of, I don't know if that's the way I'm capturing, but it seems to do it on the screen as well. The scrolling is just awful. It's very jerky and you get this kind of line going a third of the way down the screen, but that may be capture. But there's no point in me driving fast because there's no time limit, so you just take your time on this level. And indeed, that's what all the tips say in the magazines at the time. Just take as long as you like. On, well, all of the levels, really. So if you go fast, you'll just end up crashing. Over to the Amstrad CPC, there is a PC version as well. Apparently, I'm not checking that out today. A bit short of time. Amstrad version is silent. Well, apart from sound effects. Which is, well, a blessing given the state of the Bond theme and all the other versions. Spin around for no reason, your car looks incredibly like Spy Hunter. The scrolling's bad on the Amstrad, but at least it doesn't have that weird jerkiness part of the way down the screen, which again I must say could be captured, but I don't think is. Oh, how do you not end... There's so much in this film you could show before an hour into a 2-hour film. And we get to the end of level 1. And we're on the Amiga. And you turn into a speedboat. Because by now what you're doing is you're going onto the boat to Stromberg's base. Because his plan is to turn the entire world into an undersea thing. He's not Blofeld, honest. The ST and Amiga get a map of where you are on the level on the left-hand side, so you can see where we're halfway through. And one annoying thing about the game and all the versions is the restart points are either at a quarter or halfway through the game if you die. Which is, yeah. So this sequence in the movie, which has no action at all again, is basically where Caroline Monroe from 321, which is she, dubbed with a French accent, takes you and Anya on a boat to Stromberg's base. There is no shooting in the movie, it's just basically a setup for later in the movie. But no, Domark have decided, hey, we've got this vertically scrolling engine, let's change it from a car to a boat. Can you see what they've done here? They've just reused the same code over and over and over again. Because they are lazy. Again, of all the sequences in an iconic movie, you've got an iconic movie. Why have you done this? This is the kind of thing, if this was Live and Let Die, it'd be fine, because Live and Let Die is famous for that long-winded boat chase along the kind of rivers and things with the alligators and stuff in America. The Spy Who Loved Me has no boat chase at this point. It's just Caroline Monroe, Roger Moore and Barbara Bach in a speedboat going to Stromberg's base. But hey, at least we might get some excitement once we get there, right? At the end of this level, we might get some excitement at Stromberg's base. Spoiler, we won't. Even the jumping over things, that's Live and Let Die. Oh. Watch out for dead ends. You can't go backwards. So what ends up happening here is I can't go left, and I end up basically having to crash. Can't blow my way through. This is a badly, lazily, awfully designed game by people who hate you. They hate you. They hate me. They hate you. And yes, you restart right back at the middle of the level again. I was going to invite Mr. Ken Shabby from Smurfpod onto this video, by the way. But the more I played this game, the more I knew that when I came to review it, I was just going to get so cross at this absolute rubbish. Commodore 64 version, the music's going over and over again. And you wish you were playing Spy Hunter, but you're not. You're playing The Spy Who Loved Me. You can turn off the music on the 64, by the way, just have sound effects. But I think you should share the default pain that I had to suffer before I turn the sound effects off. The map layout is the same on all of the 5 versions we've got here, but on the 8-bit versions you don't get to see where you are on the map, so the dead ends become even more annoying. Yes, it loops round again. You thought I turned it off, didn't you? I hadn't! If you are looking to get out and about over the summer where permitted, ChinnyVision travel mugs are now available at ChinnyVision.com. They're blue, like the ChinnyVision kind of other stuff we've got. Spectrum version. Oh look, we're halfway through level 1, and we're going to the boathouse, and oh no, we're halfway through level 1, and we're going to load the rest of the level. Just. Ah. Bet this is good to look at on your UHF TV. Sinclair used when your Sinclair didn't think this was too bad. I seem to recall they gave it marks in the 70s. The Commodore magazines, however, were less kind. I think Zap gave it a mark in the region of 30%. Something like that. Oh, this is just dirge. Yes, I do check out Smirch Pod with Mr. Ken Shabby. Superb podcast. Came on here for the Living Daylights video. But for this, I just... Yeah. I didn't ask because this is just... I don't think the poor bloke would get a word in edgeways for my anger for this. And onto the Amstrad. Matt Furness coded the Z80 versions of this. The person who gave us Stun Runner on the Spectrum and Amstrad. He did some good games as well. But, yeah, mixed bag. Over to level 3 on the ST. Yes, we don't go in Stromberg's base. We're now driving again. You know the bit where Bond gets back to dry land and he's in the Lotus and he's trying to escape and people are trying to ram him off the road and Jaws comes after him. So we're hoping Jaws is going to come after us now, right? Because Jaws is a really important part of the film, isn't he? He's the big star of this. He's so big, he came back from Moonraker. So hopefully Jaws is going to turn up on a motorcycle any second and chase us. No, he doesn't. And now we've got a Spy Hunter type sequence where I have to get my car into the back of this lorry, which is proving difficult, because this is Q's lorry. There he is with his fingers. Sausage sandwich, anyone? And this doesn't happen in the movie, but what you've been collecting all those Q tokens for, which I've been cheating with on the Amiga because I have 999, is to buy upgrades for your car. You know, like in Spy Hunter, which this game shamelessly steals from. But you must also make sure you have enough points to get the sub upgrade, which you need to buy. Because you know what happens next, right? The Lotus goes into the sea. And of course, what you usually have to do is pay Q to get stuff off him rather than him just giving you stuff. It's all a bit weird, but the people who programmed this game completely lacked imagination. So I panelled up with missile smoke and so on, but I don't see there's a way you can independently activate any of these things. It's just now when you hold fire, everything activates at once. And at some point, you've got to keep an eye on the left. Oh no, I've missed it. No, I haven't. At some point, I need to get my Lotus into the sea towards the end of the level, so you need to keep an eye on the left-hand side there, but it's so tiny you won't be able to see what's going on. If you had this on a UHF TV, you wouldn't even see the little pixel that represents your car. Your Lotus, and look how much my smoke and everything's gone down already just after coming out of that Q lorry. Commodore 64, the music's still going on. And there's Caroline Monroe in her Jet Ranger helicopter. Let's wink at her. Or do the eyebrow thing, whatever Roger Moore does. So this should indicate we're getting towards the end of the level, hopefully, because we know what happens. This part is one of the most exciting parts of the movie. It's not in the game, however. Spectrum version, chugging along. Where am I in relation to the end of the level? I don't know. I need to go left at some point. No idea. None at all. Well, avoid the oil. Because for all the... Oh, here's Q's lorry again. Wonder if he's disguised it as a wool sausages lorry. Can I get in the back? There we go. And you don't go inside on the Spectrum and Amstrad versions. You just get this Oh, they called it the Lotus in this version, have they? That's interesting. So we've got some power-ups. It is so boring. I cannot tell you how boring this game is. As you plod along and over to the CPC, at least it's colourful on the C. At least I didn't do a specky port. I'm looking for positives here. I really am trying to find something good to say about this. Colourful on the Amstrad. If you were a Bond fan, you would have been so disappointed playing this game. It feels like a live and let die game, which of course they did later. On the 64, things have gotten no better. Do I need to go left there? There's no indication I do. I think I do. I'm just guessing. Yes, I did. How? I could have just driven straight past there, and I think the level loops around. So now we're in the water, the iconic sequence. They give us a graphic to depict that? No, it just says, well done, get ready. And here we are underwater, and it's the same engine again. Oh, dear. We don't even get to dispense with the helicopter above. It just... If Ocean had had this game, they would have varied the levels. But what Domark have done is has done the same engine over and over again for each level. Underwater level on the ST. It's like a really crap Space Invaders game. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, how do you waste this license? How do you waste this license, Domark? You... Oh. Domark, stop getting Bond wrong! And you get some slightly bigger baddies underwater that you get to shoot and four-way firing that you've bought on the Q thing and Amstrad version. We plod along in near silence with clicks. It's like an alternative 199 game. Speed Zone. Except Speed Zone moved at a better speed than this, and that was complete rubbish. Back on the 64 as we approach the end of the level. We're going to get something exciting, finally an end of level baddie or something. We end up back at Stromberg's base. Oh, we get an underwater big firing thing like it's... Now, unfortunately, at this point, if you haven't got the right missiles on board, you can't get any further because Domark hates you. Over to the ST, a few days later, James and Anya joined an American nuclear submarine on patrol. So we're going to get all the excitement of that Kubrick-esque undersea adventure. Not exactly. No, it's got the bit where Roger Moore jumps on the security camera from Boots. And some magazines liken this to Operation Wolf, but you just have to shoot people, but it just doesn't really work at all, and it's game over very quickly. And then the end level here on the ST is you have to work out the codes to basically make the nuclear submarines aim at each other, which is a little puzzle up there, which I got wrong, and now we're all dead. You failed to crack the launch codes correctly. Stromberg has plunged the world into nuclear war. So as far as the 8-bits are concerned, this is the final level. You're back on a boat inexplicably for no reason. There's nothing in the movie that matches this scene. But never mind, I do have collision detection off on the CPC. And yeah, you just move around like you do on the other boating levels and you shoot a big baddie. And that's it. The game loops back round to level 2. But I must apologise to Domark because the submarine code level on the ST and Amiga isn't in fact the end of the game. You actually go and do another Operation Wolf style level after driving to his base, again inexplicably on a speedboat, and you have a shootout with Stromberg and Jaws. Yes, Jaws does make an appearance, although fleetingly at the end of the game, so why not put him in earlier? It's all a bit weird, really, isn't it? The Spy Who Loved Me by Domark. Domark purveyors of absolute rubbish like View to a Kill, and slightly vaguely passable games like The Living Daylights. They had the Bond franchise. What are you going to do? Ocean should have had it. Ocean would have done far better than this. They would have given us some variety, but no. On the 8-bits, Domark created one vertically scrolling engine and just ripped off Spy Hunter, and they ignored all those iconic sequences from the movie because they're lazy, because they hate you, because they hate me, because all they wanted to do was cash grab. If this had been Ocean, we would have got something more like, say, Total Recall or The Untouchables, where yes, okay, there's repetition, but you alternated. And again, like Robocop, so it goes between side-scrolling and something else. Or Total Recall. Total Recall is a great example because you have those horizontal beat-em-up levels, then you have the driving sections as well, Batman, and so on. But this is Domark, and they're cheap and nasty. And as a result, we've got a cheap and nasty game. It's a completely wasted opportunity, and frankly, you would rather be playing Spy Hunter, because Spy Hunter is about 1,000,000 times better. On the ST and Amiga, at least you get that variety with the final levels, but it's still absolutely woeful. An absolute waste of the license, probably knocked together in the minimum time possible. You can blame the programmers for the lazy level design, for letting you drive the boat into dead ends, for letting you miss the turning for the undersea Lotus section. You can blame them for that, but you can only blame Domark for just the fact there's only one engine on display here on the 8-bit versions, and the game feels so incredibly cheap. If you have an iconic movie, you need to put an extra amount of effort into it to make sure the game matches the movie, and Domark haven't done that. They've done more effort than usual, granted, but it's simply not enough. I think the original magazines got it right. If we're being kind, then this is a game in the low 70s at the very best. But if you're feeling unkind, if you feel this is a wasted opportunity, and if you feel this is lazy, then that score from Zap in the 30% area is totally justified. Nobody does it better. Well, Domark, I can tell you this, Ocean would have done.